Hey folks, welcome back to another informational video with yours truly, Sam Healey. Today we're taking a look at two more expansion boxes for Massive Darkness from CMON Ltd. We're looking at the Sorcerers versus Lord Tusk, and then we're also looking at the Bloodmoon Assassins versus the Hellephant. So basically we're just going to show you everything that comes in these two box expansions for the game so that you can make the determination on whether or not you want to purchase it and go from there. So without further ado, let's get down to the table and I'll show you what you're going to get. So here is everything that comes in the Bloodmoon Assassins versus the Hellephant expansion pack for Massive Darkness. You're going to be getting, of course, 4 of the models, the 3 Bloodmoon Assassin models, and then you're also going to be getting 1 artifact, the Assassin's Cloak, and then you're also going to be getting the Hellephant model with both of its roaming monster cards, the greater and lesser versions. And of course, we'll go over each of those. But first of all, you're also going to be getting the class sheet for the Bloodmoon Assassins as well, which has all of the level ups for the experience and everything like that. So first of all, the Hellephant model is, again, amazing. The minds that come up with these things. Either there is something very wrong with them or something very clever with them, one of the two. But this model is just an amazing sculpt. What one would think a monster elephant would probably look like. But anyway, an amazingly detailed model. Probably will be a lot of fun to paint. The Hellephant cards by themselves, the lesser version here is rolling 2 yellow attack dice or 2 magic red dice and 1 yellow magic red dice, or the melee, whichever one fits their certain situation. And then for defense, they're rolling 1 blue and 1 green. Special ability here says defense, cancel all attack bursts and diamonds. So that's pretty nasty. The greater version is rolling 2 yellows and 1 red for melee, 3 red and 1 yellow for magic, and then rolling 2 blue and 2 green for defense. And then of course their special ability is the same. As far as hit points are concerned, you're going to take the number of heroes times 5 for the lesser version, and the number of heroes times 7 for the greater version as far as hit points are concerned. So in a 5-player game, you're talking 25 points here and 35 points here. So that's a pretty nasty little individual right there. The Assassin's Cloak is the artifact that you're going to be getting in the pack, and it basically says here, it says all zones in the hero's line of sight are considered shadow zones. Also, you get +1 combat action with attack +1 sunburst. So again, that's a pretty nasty little artifact there. Will help the heroes out a lot. Now, the different models that you have here, the heroes, so to speak, the Bloodmoon Assassins, you have Victoria, then you also have Valerie and Sylvan. All right, so Victoria here, if you see her model, looks pretty good. Again, these models are pretty static as far as action is concerned, I think. I like usually, especially when there are robes involved and stuff like that, I like to have a little bit more of an action type pose, but these are pretty static poses from what I've seen Cool Mini or Not do in the past, but still great detail. Victoria's shadow mode skill is defense +1 shield, and then her special skill is Keen Mind. Victoria may use her signature 1 additional time per activation. And of course, the signature is up here on the class sheet. So Valerie, a little bit more of an action pose here, but still very static, in my opinion, of course. But it's almost like she's going, say, what's up? Bring it. What's going on? You know, that type of thing. So there is that. But I mean, still, very well detailed models, and you know, very good. I'm not downing it, just I would like them to have had a little bit more of an action stance. Shadow mode skill for Valerie here is attack +1 Hit per wound the enemy has, maximum 3. So if they're hitting somebody that's already wounded, you're going to be able to get more attacks. Her special skill here is Meat Shield. It says defense may redirect 1 wound from this attack to another actor in the same zone instead. So she can use other actors or other heroes that are in her zone as a meat shield. Yeah, that's honorable. That's good. Sylvan over here is probably the most action-packed stance out of the 3 models for the heroes at least. And very good detail, of course, on this model. I love the elven swords, I guess you could call them here. At least that's what they look like to me. The bow and arrows on the back. All of the equipment that's around the belt. Just a lot of very good detail here on this model. Really like that a lot. Sylvan's shadow skill mode here is defense +1 reroll attack or defense. So that's pretty cool. You can kind of reroll your attack or you can reroll your defense die, whatever you'd like to do here. Then also special skill, he's a hunter. Attack +3 hits against roaming monsters. So if he's attacking, for example, the Hellephant over here, he'll be getting +3 hits right off the bat. So that's pretty cool. Neat models, neat abilities. Looking at the Bloodmoon Assassin skill sheet here, there's a number of different things. We already talked about the signature, the Shadow Crawler. Over here, the free class skill is Shadowborn. This hero can't equip shields. The hero gets defense -2 while in a light zone. So the Bloodmoon Assassins are definitely going to want to stick to the shadows as much as human or inhumanly possible. Some of the different things over here on level 1, you have Charge, which starting from a shadow zone, you get attack +1 yellow die. Backstab. Pleasant. Attack is, when you attack, the defenders are -1 shield. And then, of course, Slippery down here is something that we have seen before where you are able to freely leave zones that have enemy models in them. So that's pretty cool. +1 health, max health. Shadow mode, attack +1 wounds. Attack defender is -2 instead of -1 here, so if you level that up, you can be doing really well as well. When the hero ends his movement action in a shadow zone, instantly kill 1 minion in that zone. Whoa, that's awesomeness right there. Killer Instinct is the name of that. Over here, Charge. So as you can see, these just simply level up, and that's really a neat thing as well. So the Bloodmoon Assassins, definitely nothing to be trifled with, and same thing can be said for the Hellephant. And here's what you're going to be getting in the Sorcerers versus Lord Tusk expansion box for Massive Darkness. First of all, you're going to be getting Lord Tusk. We'll go over the miniatures first. This guy is just a nasty looking individual. He has a hoodie / mask on, which is probably for our benefit because he doesn't look like he's going to be very attractive underneath there. And you know what? I don't think he's worried about being attractive either. His meat cleavers, that's the best I think that might be an axe, and I think this might be a sword. But good night in the morning. Look at this. It is amazingly detailed, and those swords are something else, if you can call them that. They look more like just instruments of mass destruction, to be honest. So, Lord Tusk is something to behold, an amazing model to look at. If you look at his cards here, first of all, on the lesser roaming monster, he's rolling 2 yellow dice and 1 red for melee, and then he's rolling no less than 3 blue dice for shields. His special ability says may perform melee reaction. His special ability down here says may perform melee actions at a range of 0 to 1, so he can actually hit you further away than a regular melee attack would do. At the end of his activation, he performs an additional attack against a different hero within range, and of course players will choose that. That's really nasty. His special ability remains the same as a greater roaming monster, but he's rolling 2 yellows and 2 reds for attack, and then he gets 3 blues and 1 green for defense. As far as hit points are concerned, in a 5-player game, he's going to have 20 hit points over here, and no less than 40 hit points for the greater version. So again, Lord Tusk is not one to be trifled with. The artifact that's going to be coming in the box is the Sorcerer's Ring. And this one says, if any of the hero skills or attacker's wounds as an enemy inflict 1 extra wound. An additional, there is +1 magic with magic +1 diamond. So that's pretty cool as well. So the Sorcerer's Ring is something that those sorcerers will be wanting to carry around. Now, the actual sorcerer that comes in this back is Ajax. So that's this guy right here. He looks like he's saying, bring it, y'all. You don't want none of this. So that's basically, no, he's probably not saying that. He's probably getting some type of spell or incantation ready to go. But that's what he looks like he's doing to me. And that's probably how he would be speaking if I were running him. So Ajax here is going to have Shadow Mode skill as attack +1 green die. Inflict wounds to the enemy equal to the number of swords. All right, so if you roll that Sunburst on your attack, you can roll 1 green die and inflict that many wounds for all the swords that come up. Special skill is Dark Magic. At the end of the round, Ajax may resurrect dead heroes in the same zone twice per quest. So he can do that twice. So this guy is a necromancer, sorcerer, whatever you want to call him. He's pretty nasty. Over here, Silence has a pretty cool model. This looks like one of those types of assassin-y type models, or you know, those guys that are just sticking to the shadows. Well, that was advantageous. Sticking to the shadows, you know, slinking around back there, waiting for the perfect time to attack. That is basically what he's doing. A pretty good action pose here, as far as there's a lot of movement in the model. I like that a lot. His special ability says Shadow Mode skill, attack, +1 reroll attack or defense. That's cool. Special skill down here, Trapper. Enemies in the same zone as Silence get defense -1. That's a cool ability as well. Really neat. Here we have Sarah. Sarah is again, this one is a model kind of static, but there is a little bit of movement in there, and that's what I really like. I like the flowing robes to add to that, or to accentuate that movement that's going on within the model. I really like that a lot. This sculpt is one of my favorites, actually, at least from this box, at the very least. Sarah here has a Shadow Mode skill where she gets attack +1 hit per ally in the same zone. So if you're sticking together, she's really powerful. Special skill, Follow Me. Once per activation, when Sarah performs a move action, select another hero in the same zone. Both move to the same zone. So that's pretty cool. Again, those accentuate very well. I like that a lot. Now, as far as the Sorcerer class sheet here, we have this coming out. The signature ability, Alchemist. You spend one experience point, make a transmute action using only 2 cards. So that's pretty cool, because usually transmute takes 3 of those cards that you're carrying around. So that's interesting. Here, Explosion Escape, which is a free class skill. It says spend 1 action to leave a zone with an enemy, dealing 1 wound to it, and moving to an adjacent zone. So that's pretty cool. It's kind of like the slippery ability, but you're leaving a damage behind with it. That's really neat. Over here, Blood Rage. Hey, all right. Blood Tribute 1, magic +1 wound. That's cool. Magic +1 hit. That's also cool. Necro down here. Knew that was coming. Once per activation, when you wound a minion, kill it and roll 1 red die. Deal wounds equal to the number of hits to that minion's mob. So that's pretty cool. Over here, we have an upgrade of Magic Sparks, which is Magic +1, Magic +1, or +1 Sunburst. So that's cool. Shadow Mode skill will boost it up here. Magic Sunburst, +1 wound, and the hero may heal 1. So that's pretty cool. Explosive Escape, this expands that here. It says deals 2 wounds instead. So that's really interesting. And then if you level it up even more, it'll deal 3 wounds instead. So again, Sorcerer is pretty nasty new actor class. So really neat. Let's get back up top. And so that's that for the Sorcerers and the Bloodmoon Assassins. Of course, there's also the Hellephant and Lord Tusk as well. So again, we need to mention that the reason it's called the Sorcerers versus Lord Tusk is because that's the new class that comes in that box, the Sorcerers. And then, of course, the Bloodmoon Assassins is the new class that comes in that expansion box for that. The different characters that are involved in both of these boxes, not all of them must be those Bloodmoon Assassins or those Sorcerers. They can be, but they don't have to be. And then you'll notice that the lower thirds that I was posting up there gave you the recommended class for each of those different miniatures. So hopefully that helps you understand a little bit better what those guys are supposed to be used for. Now, as I also said in another video that I was going to show you what cards, if any, were necessary from the replacement card pack that they have put out there to help fix some of the printing errors that were on the thing. This is one of those. Ajax is necessary. He basically has some text over here that needs to be fixed. Very similar to some of the other cards. It's just simply a color didn't come out right. But other than that, the effect of the card is all the same. Here it says that attack 1, roll 1 green die when it's actually a yellow die. So that card fixes that little difference there. So that's something to also take into account. All that being said, this isn't a review. I'm not saying that you should go out and purchase this. This is just an informational video that shows you what comes in those boxes, so that you can then make the decision. Do I want to add that to my game or not? And just gives you more information. More information is always better, right? Well, that's why I'm doing this. So hopefully you now have the information that is necessary to make an informed decision on whether or not you're going to add these expansion boxes to your copy of Massive Darkness. That's it from me. We'll see you guys on the flip side.